I go to school at the University of Kansas, so a lot of my friends are Kansas City Chiefs fans, and I was able to see them win a world championship while I was here. I saw them lose a world championship, and I've seen basically, the Mahomes rise while I've lived here in Kansas. And this is a team that now, this year, after being a few years removed from the Super Bowl, it's championship or bust. Okay, this team needs to go deep into the playoffs and fight for a title and either win it or come up just very close, like come up short, which I hope they don't. As you guys know, Orlando Brown Jr. is actually holding out right now. I actually went to school with Braxton Brown, his younger brother, in middle school. I went to school with the Browns because they used to live in Baltimore before his father passed away, and then they moved to Georgia. Either way, just a little tidbit. Justin Ross is the only player on injury reserve for them right now as he overcomes the injury from last season. And they have Jarrett McKinnon, Ronald Jones II, okay, in that backcourt. Not backcourt, but backfield. Sorry, I have an NBA channel, but backfield. And I think it's going to be interesting because they have depth in that running back group behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And even when you look over here, they brought in Corey Coleman, the former first round pick for the Browns. They still have Josh Gordon. They have Hardman still. They drafted Sky Moore. Okay, they have Juju. They brought in, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and the tight end room, they have Noah Gray, Travis Kelce, of course, and they gave Travis Kelce a raise. This team is good. Shout out Adam Rank for some of the information. Link is in the description. But this is a team that, look, Kansas City played a great season, and this is a team that's made some changes. Obviously, Tyrann Mathieu left. They went younger. They brought in, Justin Reed, which I think was smart. And even, with DeAndre Baker of the 30th pick in 2019, this is a team that does a really good job of finding reclamation projects, okay? Or like guys that other teams have discarded. Like, I really do like what they've done. Also, L'Jarius Sneed and Juan Thornhill, I think both will make a big impact. They, Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams, two young guys. The defense is loaded. Look, that divisional round beating the Bills was huge. All right, this is a team that is still considered one of the best teams in the AFC. And obviously losing to the Bills in the AFC Championship game sucked. Okay, you won the overtime coin toss, but look, it's interesting. It's interesting. Now, Andy Reid being there, Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the NFL, up there with Bill Belichick. This guy's fifth all time in NFL coaching wins with 233. This guy, I know, big boy, okay? Big boy. And he right now has 6 consecutive division titles, which is the longest active streak in the league, and it's tied for the third longest in NFL history. And obviously, the Bill Belichick-led Patriots hold the record with 11 straight from 2009 to 2019. That's obviously no surprise, but still, Andy Reid's an incredible guy, great offensive mind, and with Patrick Mahomes there, Pat Mahomes is special. And I think this year, where he kind of told his brother and his wife to shut the fuck up and stop meddling with all these off-the-field shenanigans. Like, look, I know she's your woman, Pat, and I know he's your brother. That's your kin. But fuck them, dude. God, I honestly, living here in Kansas and witnessing this for the past 2 years and having friends who are Chiefs fans, we all agree that they're a nuisance. They are a nuisance. Like, they are just such a distraction, not only for him, but for the organization with their off-the-field shenanigans. When football comes around, when football season starts, check out, guys. Okay? Do your shit in the offseason. Don't fucking mess with your man's livelihood. Okay, Jackson Mahomes, you wouldn't be shit if your brother wasn't Patrick Mahomes. So just fucking do whatever your brother says. Okay, he's the one who pays for all your shit, I bet. And second off, his wife, come on, like you kind of deserve all the flack you get. Like, you haven't done anything well. Just support your man and just stay quiet. And I'm not saying like there are look at the other wives in the NFL. Do what the other wives do in the NFL. They support their mans. They do everything. They still, have their off the field stuff that they promote, but they're not trying to be the source of the attention. Okay, that's what it feels like with this. This isn't even what it's about. Okay, but I hope you guys agree with me. Like the other NFL wives, like they have their things they promote, they have their things they do, but they don't they don't make themselves a distraction from their husband. They're just, you know, like, I'm not saying like women can do whatever they want. It's just like, you guys get what I'm saying. Either way, look, Patrick Mahomes, he became the primary starter in 2018, and the team's had like basically the number one scoring and total offense since then, and the guy's elite. And I'm personally rooting for the team. But look, as long as Mahomes is the team, they're going to be awesome. He's logged double-digit wins in 4 straight seasons. That's tied for the 6th longest streak of all time, okay, for 6th longest. And now, yes, Tyreek Hill is gone, but this team is still good. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is still good. Okay, this guy is speed. He's one of the fastest guys in the NFL, okay? And look, I know he's not as controlled as Cheetah, but Valdez, he led the NFL in 2020 with almost 21 yards per reception. He paced this past year the NFL with 17 air yards per target. Also, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to break out this year. I know there's Ronald Jones and Derek Gore and Jerick McKinnon, who was a stud. They also brought in Isaiah Pacheco he played for Rutgers. And they also have Tayon Fleet Davis and Jerrion Ely over there. But I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, his breakout comparison has always been Brian Westbrook. In fact, Reed apparently said Edwards-Helaire is better than Brian. And if you guys didn't know this, Brian Westbrook took 3 years to break out. He broke out in 3 years when he averaged 116.5 yards per scrimmage per game and scored 9 touchdowns, making his first Pro Bowl. Clyde is entering year 3. So breakout looking like it'll happen. Now, next up, guys, I think this is the interesting part. So in week 2, they'll be playing the Chargers. They need to beat the Chargers. In week 6, they need to beat the Bills. Okay. And then at the end of this season, they'll be playing the Denver Broncos in week 17. And then at Vegas at week 18. They got to close out the season strong. Now, obviously, Patrick Mahomes has always put up great numbers. And this is a team that will Tyreek Hill being gone be bad? Because as Mahomes still owns, a great 100-plus passing record without Tyreek Hill. But it'll obviously be different without Tyreek Hill, okay? And Adam Rank said it's like Guns N' Roses without Slash and Duff. It's still a great band, but not the original. Now, Hill basically won the game for them over the Bills. And what's crazy is Hill was second last season behind only Justin Jefferson in first down catches on third down. But Travis Kelce's still there. And the other thing is with Orlando Brown Jr. holding out, will, Brett Veach and company figure it out without Orlando Brown Jr. Because they said, if he holds out, we'll move on. And if you look at this offensive line, they drafted, undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent. They brought in Mike Caliendo. And then they brought in also Darian Kinnard, and they have Trey Smith still, Austin Reeder, Lucas Niang. Also, is Lucas Niang related to Georges Niang? Joe Thuney, Andrew Wiley, Prince Tega Wanoba, who's they brought over from Philadelphia. Sorry if I mess up any of the names. Nick Allegretti and Jerron Christian and Creed Humphrey and Roderick Johnson are all still there, while Orlando Brown. Also, can we talk about how, for a fact, our guys, listen to this, okay? I think it's insane to think about that they were able to trade Deed Ford, who's a freaking bust since being traded to San Francisco. And in return, they traded for Frank Clark, who I know Frank Clark, he's been way better than Deed Ford. I know Frank Clark hasn't gone double-digit sacks like he did over with Seattle, but he's put up in 3 seasons so far about 18 sacks. Way better than Deed Ford. Deed Ford has been absolute shit, so they kind of fleeced the Niners with that deal. And then also, I think It's funny because you look at this team and they have Trent McDuffie, who's good. Okay, Lonnie Johnson Jr. He was so long ass guy, and they still have a good linebacking corp with Nick Bolton, Shalik Calhoun, Jeremiah Carter. They brought in Leo Chanel from Wisconsin, Willie Gay, Darius Hayward, Azur Kamara. If you guys don't know this, he's from the University of Kansas. Elijah Lee. They drafted Mike Rose, and this is a good team. I expect Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Hardman. I really do think Josh Gordon's going to have a huge year. I think Josh Gordon's going to shock people. I'm a huge Flash Gordon fan. If you guys don't know this, I love Josh Gordon for one reason only. So in 2013, he led the league in receiving yards. Okay. He also, I believe, led the league in touchdown receptions that season in 2013. And yeah, he led the league in receiving yards. And he also had, how many touchdowns was it? Only 9. No, so he didn't lead the league. But he had 9 touchdowns and 1,600 yards in 14 games. Before every single game, he ate, I think it was 2 Xanax bars, smoked 2 to 4 blunts, and drank a cup or 2 of Grand Marnier. Grand Marnier is so much better than cognac. Like, not cognac, Hennessy is the best tasting cognac in my opinion. And the fact that he would drink 1 to 2 glasses of Grand Marnier, which is like thick, okay, and then be off of 2 bars of Xanax and smoked 2 to 4 blunts with Johnny Manziel before every game, that he led the NFL in receiving yards. Give that man the ball this year. If he can do that, not sober, imagine what he can do sober. If not, just tell him to smoke the blunts before the game. Just take out the Xans, the alcohol. That's a joke. But still, I have